Fresh off of season 4, My Hero just finished it. I wanted to kind of talk about this earlier, but I got caught up in it and I just blazed through. But seeing is this is like kind of the halfway point. I'm going to talk about my feelings so far. Boy, I have so the thing with this is I pretty much swore off My Hero based on what I knew about it. But over time, I just decided like I had the same thought process with One Piece, right? Whether it's like I don't know if I was a too long kind of thing. To me, it just looked weird. I was like Big Mom as a character. I don't like. How could I ever like something with Big Mom? So maybe that kind of like set everything up here. But I realized like that's kind of irrelevant. We'll just watch the story, or we'll just like watch the show unfold, and just focus on that and don't worry about everything outside of it because it really doesn't matter. That's not gonna affect your enjoyment of the show. So we're gonna talk about the first 4 seasons, getting right into it. I have like a cheat sheet here to get over, um, to just remind myself of like the small moments. Season 1 is pretty much no complaints really with season 1. I think it just kind of sets up Deku as a character, and like you kind of know his morals and what a hero means, or like what being a hero means to him. They kind of like start setting up a bunch of not plot lines, but a lot of like dynamics between him and Bakugo, and they set up where it like sets up Bakugo's aggression with Deku and his like frustration with him, almost that like turns to anger. Um, and then we get like he takes All Might, and he doesn't take All Might. He gets his quirk, and I understand. I think it kind of had to happen that way. Like I don't think a quirkless, like the whole point of it is Deku's quirkless, but then he gets like one of the more broken quirks in the series. And the other thing, before I get into what I was just starting to talk about, quirks in general are a kind of interesting power system to me. Stands will always be my one. Well, not always, but it's for me. It's hard to beat stands. I just think they're such a unique power system, and I always like how they integrate, or they combat each other. It more feels like a chess match, and understanding what their power is and like how to exploit it. But quirks have a interesting, like they have a real world impact on like you, like the user, as well as your quirk could lead you to being discriminated against in some way. um I hear like people talk about it, like racism in My Hero, but um obviously like the example that comes to mind is like Dobby, right? Because he burns himself, but Deku has a quirk that he can't even use to his full potential. He has to like train his body and get himself to be at a level. He's at like 8. We can do like 20%, I think, but only for like a flash. He has like the Air Force flick thing that he can do, but he had to like get his body, learn how to control it. And he was like putting his body on the line. And there's some people. That's the other thing, is how do you know what quirk you have? Because some of these, like Todoroki, sure, I'll give you that. Tenya, Ida, I'll give you that. But some quirk, like, how does someone like La Brava, how does she know what her quirk does? Like, she was like she knew. Did they tell you that? Well, I guess they used like an indicator that the pinky toe, right? There's like an extra pinky toe joint. That means you do or don't have a quirk. I don't remember. But it's just kind of funny. So quirks are really cool. I like them. Some of that, it's kind of, when you get this with every power system, you'll have some that are just super broken, some all-arounders, like Bakugo. I don't want to say he's carried by his quirk, because he's smart, and he's got a decent, like, battle IQ, and he uses it, and he's kind of leveled it up to be more versatile, but he can kind of do anything. Like, in the UA sports festival, there's, like, a couple different ones. I think that's the right one. He can just, like, fly through stuff, and he just kind of blasts through everything, which, like, kind of fits in the character. But you have other people that, like, I forget his name, Ojiro? No, that doesn't sound right. The tail guy. Yeah. That's raps, man. Like, it's cool. Like, you can do, you can see him moving with it, and it's like a third leg that's really strong. But at the end of the day, it's a tail. So, like, how are you supposed to be the number one hero? Maybe that's not his goal, but they cover that too, and that's an interesting. I like that as well. How, like, some people have extremely high aspirations. I forget the guy that Deku fights. I forget his name, but the hypnosis guy. Like, he wants to be a hero, but his quirk isn't really suited for that. You know, like, his combat ability is, he doesn't really have a great combat ability, and he needs to work on that. But, like, his quirk is, like, kind of broken, but it's not broken. I don't know, it's weird. And that's really, I'm getting on a tangent here. I don't want this video to be like 20 minutes, but it's probably going to be that long. But that season 1 ends with USJ. Does season 1 end with USJ? I think so. Yeah. So that's the big part. They're training. I don't want to. There's not much to really say about season 1. It kind of just sets up everything, and gets Deku into the driver's seat of his own story. The USJ. All Might. Well, also the other thing, All Might is just a beast. He's always got. He's like one of the. I mean, he's probably one of the more, like, goated characters. But a lot of these characters are just, like, I will say, a lot of them have great character moments. More so, like other series, they kind of have the main cast. So in this case, or like, you have like you have like your main trio, and then everyone else is kind of like an afterthought. But you still get stuff from, like, Kaminari. I forget her name. Jiro, I think, the earphone jack. She had, like, in season 4, she had a little, like, moment where she was playing music. It, like, flashes back to her telling her parents, like, she wants to be a hero and not play music. It was this big thing about this festival, which when I talk about season 4, I'll get to. But, like, the more minor characters, and then I think Froppy straight up had an anime only episode, I think. Straight up. Just all of these characters have, like, really good moments, and they're sort of you would put them in, like, the secondary cast. But, like, class 1A in general is, like, treated as a main cast. But it's really, it's like Deku, Todoroki, Bakugo, and maybe Uraraka. but a lot of people, basically, they all get attention, and they all get great moments, for the most part. Season 2. What does Season 2 start off with? We get the UA Sports Festival. Okay. So I wanted to tier list every fight in the UA Sports Festival, but some of them are just like one taps, like Tokoyami versus Momo is practically a one tap. But this is, okay, I'll say this, Season 2 is when I think there is a significant like uptick in the show, like quality wise, because you get, obviously, so Season 1 is like 12 episodes, and Season 2 is like 26, 27, but you get all these moments for characters to really show you like their quirk and give you, kind of make you root for them, I think is the best way to say it. But you learn about Bakugo, Todoroki, you like learn about all this stuff, but then you're thrown into the real world, like Stain, and I think they threw, the funny thing is, they tease Stain, he like is aura farming at the last episode of Season 1, I think, and then he's not really relevant till like halfway through Season 2. It's not really a problem, but it was kind of, it's like, hey, there's this thing, you might, when you get to it in about 15 episodes, you'll love it, but until then, enjoy the sports festival, which there's a lot of good moments there. Yes, obviously the highlight. So the highlight of Season 1 is definitely All Might versus the Nomu fight, when he just decides to be him. Season 2, I think Todoroki versus Deku. Even the final fight, though, the point had been proven, but for some reason, like Deku versus Todoroki, they decided to just animate it beautifully and just show you like why this is a show worth watching. That was crazy. And then they go into the Stain arc, which not much to say about the Stain arc. Like, all this stuff is good. I don't remember what happened, but nothing. Well, I remember obviously like it was good between Deku, Todoroki, and it's okay. It's coming to me now. You get Todoroki, Tenya, and Deku kind of doing this like triple team with this native guy that really didn't do anything, but he was there, but he was also incapacitated. So I'm not gonna slander him. But that whole fight was really cool to watch. They get him, and then he has like one final stand. I'm like, okay, and then he just stands still, and he I think he becomes unconscious. So that's kind of that. But outside of that, I mean, that was a quick one. What final exams? I feel like I'm missing something. I think there's a good, I don't remember when it is, but Bakugo and Deku have a fight at some point. That might be Season 3. Practical exam. Oh. This final exam when Bakugo and Deku have to fight All Might. Who is in charge of this, man? Like, these, granted, I feel like there was intention put behind this, but no one, like, they ended up passing, but these are like the only two guys that could pass facing All Might. Like, let's be honest. Who else? Like Todoroki, but he would have to be with another heavy hitter. Like, Todoroki and Tenya are not beating All Might. A lot of people in Class 1A are not. I don't think Dark Shadow Tokoyami is beating him. Kaminari's not beating him. Like, let's be real here. I don't think any of them, even like Weekend All Might, Test All Might, he was putting belt to ass. Like, he was not holding back, really. He made them earn it, and they were like, it was an incredible moment. It was a great moment. And then they go into the forest, which this was a kind of a cool part. You get like Coda, the Muscle Man fight. Oh my gosh, like that was nerve-wracking. Just you see like him put everything into that punch, and then he just like gets up, but then he has one more in him. I got one more in me, and then he's like, yeah, we gotta leave though. And then it ends up with Bakugo. I was worried, like they focused on Bakugo a lot, and it makes sense though, because he, like, I feel like if he is anyone to turn, it's sort of like if we're thinking about it, it's like the Sasuke retrieval arc, right? But it's not as long, and it's like different, same but different, because he's taken, and he's like, he wants to get stronger to beat Deku, because he's like, I don't know if he knows at this point. I think he learns, I forget, it must be season 3. I think it's season 3. He learns like his secret, where he like knows something is up. Oh yeah. Because after Baku, okay, hang on. I'm re-piecing it together. Bakugo gets captured. They're trying to be like, hey man, we got some power on the dark side, you know, and we could really, we could use you, and it ends up in this, leading to this like big clash. Oh yes. This is actually great. It's all like a flash. It all feels so connected because I've like ripped through this, but it's coming back slowly. Because you think like, oh, they got him, Kamui Woods, Mount Lady, which we're not gonna. I might talk about characters later. I'm just gonna kind of rush through this, because I've kind of been rambling for a while, I think. Yeah, it's been 18 minutes. Okay, let's continue. So they capture him, and then you think everything's good, but everything could not be anymore. Could not be good at all. It is not good. It was never good. Because we got One for All kind of throwing a wrench into everything. And it basically the class that takes All Might out of retirement, and he leaves it to the next generation. Absolutely peak. Oh my gosh. This was when I like fell in love with the series. Like, this is kind of when I was like, okay, this is something, It all like culminates here. But then he like leaves it to the next generation, and then Bakugo notices, why is Deku crying when he said you're next? Everyone's cheering or something. Like, that's a threat, no? He's like threatening all the other villains? What does this mean? And then like All Might goes around, which leads to the teachers going around and like, we're gonna go to a dorm system to make sure everyone's safe, and this, that, and the other thing. Bakugo asks him, but then it leads to, I love that was such, I love that leads into a great fight, honestly, between Deku and Bakugo. Um, just not only the story taking place, but it was such like a well animated sequence, and it just was such a cool thing, and it means a lot for like Bakugo, and I felt like he really developed. He's always been that very bold, abrasive, kind of angry, loose cannon, you know. But this is when it feels like they start to be like, okay, we're rivals now. Like, I don't know, he doesn't see him as an equal, but he's like, okay, I will engage in this rivalry, and I will be better than you, even with your power. You know, you're one for all. And then this goes into. Is there anything else to say about that? I don't. Oh yeah, because it's a bunch of like. There's some weird like not low moments, but these are just like the big moments. Because if I talked about everything, this video would be 3 hours. Okay. Anyways, overhaul. This. I wonder. See, I wonder what would happen if we just had a airy amped Deku running around, and he was just able to like deteriorate himself so fast, but she was able to heal him even faster, so he could just go absolutely stupid. But I don't think like that's practical. But this was so good. Oh, we have Lemillion. Yeah, this is like they introduce the big three. We get some good fights here. You get like the Sun Eater 1v3, which was like back and forth, and then you get Nejire wasn't. She was outside, I think. But then you have like Fat Gum and Kaminari. That was, oh my god, that was so insane. That was so cool. Giving him moments even before that, right? He had that Blade guy, because they introduced like this drug. They're setting up kind of what Overhaul has his hand in like the streets, flooding, giving everybody this drug to like not only take away quirks but also enhance quirks. But that was crazy. And then you have Lemillion, which moving on to Lemillion, which is a crazy power, and like this is how you like. He is a top tier character. I like him. I'm not the craziest fan of him, but he shows you that like he's kind of him. Like even without his power, he still gives everything to try and save Eri. And it's just beautiful. Deku comes in. You think like she's running away, but she like comes back and she's like, I don't want people to hurt anymore. So I'm just gonna be Overhaul's, heal bot, and just like his lab rat, because that keeps everyone safe. But Deku wasn't going for that, so he just turns up, and it was just like crazy to watch. Even after Overhaul like gets 2 or 3 transformations, it's just not enough. But that was like an incredible moment. Once again. And then there's like a little bit of, you have this like school festival thing, and then the Gentle Criminal, which I'm not gonna say is bad, but coming off of like a hype moment with like Overhaul. You get a little cooldown, and you get Gentle Criminal with like a cool power. And you get but I'm not gonna pretend to like enjoy the concert really, and like the beauty pageant, and it's so peak, you kind of need this. You need the little swoop downward before you can go up, but that leads into the Pro Hero arc, which I've technically not finished through, because this says it's till 90, and I just finished episode 88. But what I want to say is, season 4, I think, is like close with the best season. I don't know if that's a crazy take, because I feel like Endeavor has a better final stand than, and this is what I'm going to lead the video off on, has a better final stand than All Might's. I think that might be a hot take. Hot take, like Endeavor. Anyway, okay. Because I think narratively, it means more for Endeavor than like All Might. Yeah, I'm just the GOAT, man. I'm just the greatest superhero to ever, the greatest hero to ever walk the earth. And like, yeah, he gives up everything. He sacrifices everything. I thought Endeavor was gonna die. I never feel like, I get worried for All Might, but I don't think All Might's gonna like ever gonna be debilitated. Like he'll be fine. Endeavor was setting up like, oh, I'm overheating. He had like this moment where like, you're me, talking to this super Nomu, and he was like, it felt like he was cooked, and he was doing this sort of Tony Stark thing, taking him all the way up into the atmosphere. I'm like, he's just gonna nuke them both, and he falls down, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're done. We just witnessed a man give truly everything, but no. Endeavor's like, I'm not done yet. Job's not finished. Or the job is finished, but not the job about becoming the new symbol of peace. And that Endeavor's still standing. Like, you have everyone watching on the news, like this guy falling and like burning, and everyone's like, guys, what do we do? Endeavor's not having a great time. Like, you can't really deal with this guy. And also his named attacks, sorry to say this, they're all fire, right? But all of his named attacks are so sick. But everyone's watching. Everyone's like, okay, what do we do now? And then they're like, oh wait, Endeavor's still fighting. Like, even though everyone else is like sort of giving up hope, he's still fighting. And that was just a crazy moment. And then he has his like, he's practically dead. I don't know the fallout or like the aftermath of this. I just remember, like, I watched the episode, he has his hand up in the air and he won. And that's all that's important. I was so freaking ecstatic. Like, it was crazy. That was probably like the highest, to me, the highest peak in MHA so far. But I think that's it. Let me know if you want more, like me to talk about My Hero more or less, or talk about other shows or other things. That's pretty much it. This will probably have, it might be like 2 more weeks before we get the whole thing, and then I might do more like comprehensive sort of list. But anyways, that's everything. Thank you for watching and sticking around. If you did, I will see you the next time I see you.